What's going on, fellas? So, just wanted to talk about this new thermal paste from Noctua. This is the NT-H2. Got the 10-gram tube here. So, I don't know what the difference is between this and this one here, the NT-H1, because when you go to the Noctua website, there's no specs. They don't tell you what the watts per meter Kelvin is on this tube here, and I don't know that you find that information either for the NT-H1, but whatever. We'll test this thermal paste to see how it performs in like the best I can, the best real life environment I can create. My ambient temperature down here, it's 22 Celsius, so, and that's pretty consistent. Oh yeah, let's get this opened up. Set this down here. We get this chart, and it tells you how to like apply it if you don't have any idea how to apply this stuff. And this is cool. You know, there's nothing else in the box, but they give you some pads for removing the old thermal paste or whatever. So that's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pads. Thank you, Noctua. Alrighty, we'll put this back. And here's a tube. In comparison, this is the 10 gram, and this one here is 3 grams. So when you buy the 10-gram tube, this is what you can expect it to look like compared to the 3.5 gram. All right, so let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun with this stuff, yeah? Let's see what the consistency or what the pastes look like once you have them compared and how they spread, just visually get a visual idea what this stuff looks like. And by the way, this is nothing scientific, so take these results and what you're about to see here with a grain of salt. Just doing this for fun, but at the same time I will try to, man, okay, this is a little bit thicker. Well, that's because maybe the tip there was kind of dry. It's usually how it is. All right, so yeah, that's what the or let's put these here where they correspond. There we go. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and just test to see how this stuff spreads. And the NHT or the NT-H1, for those of you who have tried it before, you know this stuff spreads like butter, really nice. And it's pretty reliable as well. I have this running on a machine that runs 24/7. It's been running 24/7 for about 6 years now, and this is what I have on the CPU. And there you go, that's what that looks like. Let's wipe this off. All right, now let's do the same with the NT-H2. And let me remove this part here because this is dry. And oh yeah, this stuff is even, yeah, it's even better. It's even easier to spread. It just flows with your spatula, so yeah. I'll say they're about the same. So I mean, it's got a lighter color to it, if you can tell. So it's not an issue spreading this at all. So yeah, that looks good. Let's get a closer shot of this. So yeah, there you go. That's the spread test for the two thermal pastes. Alright guys, so how I like to do this is we'll use MSI Afterburner. We're not going to be doing any overvolting, any overclocking at all. We're just going to set the fan speed to static 80% on the graphics card. This is the GTX 770. It's an older graphics card, but for this test, this will be just fine, of course. The ambient temperature, like I said, is 22 Celsius in this room, so that'll be pretty consistent. Alright, so let's drop that. Bring up value benchmark. We'll let this test run for about 30 minutes. Then let the card get really nice, hot and toasty. We'll come back, record temperatures, take the card apart, reapply the thermal paste, and repeat. Okay? Alright. So I'll see you in 30 minutes. Or for you guys, it'll be in a couple of seconds. Alright. Alright guys, so coming back to the test now, you see the temperatures have stabilized around 70, 71 Celsius. So we'll go ahead and take the card apart and start with Noctua and NT-H1 and see how well it does. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and take this thing apart. Just get the right bit here. I think it's this one. And mind you, this is the thermal paste that came with this card. Okay, this one is a bit too thick. So yeah, it's going to not provide similar results as it would with the freshly applied coat of thermal paste. Alright, put these together. This just came apart. Okay, so you know what I think happened here? I think that the guy, because I bought this secondhand, the guy that I bought it from must have replaced the thermal paste. And he, well, it speaks for itself. So let me go ahead and clean this puppy up real quick. Get all the nasty stuff off first. I have no idea what thermal paste this is, but it looks, yeah, it's all over the, yeah, all over the substrate and S&Ds. Oh man, okay, so yeah, just get the bigger chunks off of here. Great job, dude. Man. And it's not like it's going to make performance improvement or change anything about how the card operates this way, the way he did it, but you know, have some pride in what you do, or don't do it at all. Just go do something else. And I'm going to, yep, do it, just that. I'm gonna hit this with my toothbrush. Get all this junk out of there. And no, it doesn't matter how much thermal paste you put on, like he did. You're not going to cause any damage or insulate anything. It's just really, when you put too much like that, it's kind of a waste of thermal paste, you know what I mean? Waste of time, because it's really not going to do anything for you. So just be conservative, and that's how you want it to look. Also going to spray some alcohol here. So they sell these at your local hardware stores. You can pick them up there. They're a little softer than sandpaper. So you can just cut a little piece like this. This actually comes with, one of these came with Liquid Ultra back in the days when I used to use Liquid Ultra. So, and it worked pretty well, especially trying to get, you know, when you want to get all that hard stuff out of there. Let's just go like this. That's all you need right there, this piece. And we'll move the card out of the way, because now we're going to have some metal microscopic residue here. Make sure that this is thoroughly clean. And by the way, this design right here, really bad. This is not, I don't care how flat you can get this here, you're still going to have microscopic, bigger microscopic gaps there in between the copper and the aluminum. And believe it or not, that does make a difference in temperatures, you know, as far as cooling is concerned. Alright, so we got that pretty clean there. Let me go ahead and spray some alcohol on it. Get all the bigger particles out of the way. And I don't know about you guys, but that looks pretty clean. So that's how we want it. All right, now let's get all this stuff out of here. Okie doke. So let's start with NT-H1. What I like to do is spread the stuff pretty good on the die. Like I've said in my previous videos, is because in the die you have other little small components, if you want to call it that. I don't know what the technical term is, but if, for example, one of the corner of the die doesn't have thermal paste and that's exposed and is not obviously making contact with the heatsink as it should in order to cool it, that spot might overheat, and right underneath that might be an important component that is part of your GPU core. And if it's not cooled properly, you're going to get random shutdowns and artifacts possibly. I mean, all sorts of things can occur. I've seen that myself, so I'm just telling you this from experience. Just make sure you spread this stuff. Don't be silly and try to do the P method. And I know some of you in the comment section have pointed it out to me, like, oh no, you can do the P, P method, whatever. You know what? That's your graphics card. That's your CPU. Do however you want it. It's not my hardware, but yeah, I know for a fact. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is how you should spread your thermal paste. This is how, when you put thermal paste on a GPU, this is how it should look. Okay? Or if you can do a better job than me, hey, even better. Don't mess around with no X's or dots or P size, whatever crap. Just don't do it. Stupid. Okay, so let's see here. Yep, this is how you go. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and screw this back on. Alrighty then. And you can kind of see there where the heatsink is making contact with the GPU. You see that? So you just want to double check. And it's the same case on the other side. Alright, so let's put this back into the system and go for another 30-minute round and see how it does. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's around 64, 65, hovering in that area there. It's been 30 minutes, so it's a clear, 5-degree temperature change going from the old thermal paste to NT-H1. So yeah, let's go ahead and try now NT-H2 and see how this does. Alright, let's take this back apart. Alright, so now it's time to test this thing here. And this is the first time that I use this thermal paste. So now, granted, there is one thing that I do want to talk about. I don't expect this to shine over NT-H1, but where it would make a difference is if you're doing liquid nitrogen. This here may have a better tolerance to those lower temperatures, so that's where you will see a more expensive thermal paste like this make a difference. The resistance to lower temperatures, because like a normal thermal paste that you buy, like a budget thermal paste, or a lot of thermal pastes out there, even the ones that claim to be good, if you put them under liquid nitrogen, they begin to crack and it's just basically break down under those temperatures, those low temperatures. So you want to make sure that your thermal paste that you're using, if you're going to be doing extreme overclocking, that paste can tolerate, that it is rated for those low temperatures. But yeah, anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. stick with this. So yeah, let's get this puppy back together and get it on the bench. Alright guys, so we reached 30 minutes of this thing running, and the temperatures are exactly the same as I expected. Nothing's changed. So I'm going to go ahead and end the test here, and I'll give you my opinion of these two, my personal opinion of these two thermal pastes. Well guys, go into the Noctua website, and when you look at the specs, for example, you look at the specs here, you don't see any difference between the two pastes. Like for example, if you look at the literally, like, the only difference is that I can tell is that with the NT-H2, the NT-H2 is rated to operate at temperatures of up to 200 Celsius and minus 50. Okay, now this is the only difference as far as I can tell, because when you look here at the NT-H1, still minus 50 to 110. Now if I ever have my CPU or GPU running at 200 Celsius, then you know what, this thermal paste here would be great. It would be perfect when that day happens, when that day comes. I'm not saying anything bad about Noctua here. It's just kind of silly because maybe there are processors out there, or maybe there's something else out there that this can be applied to that runs, or maybe, you know, has this practical use for something like this, but I don't know of it. So yeah, as far as like storage, 3 years. Same thing with NT-H1, 3 years. Time on recommended usage time on the CPU says here 5 years. Same thing here, 5 years. So that's the only thing, and I can't find any watts per meter Kelvin as far as like heat transfer or just anywhere. I just don't see it, and I have actually looked at other sites, other reviewers. I can't find any more technical specs than this here. This is it. So, but one thing I do want to say is that there may be applications for this, like for example higher pressure, you know, better suitable. It'll perform better under higher pressures between the IHS and the heatsink, or if you are something, you know, if you're running something this hot here, as far as longevity, it tells you here in the specs 5 years. So yeah, I don't want to take too long, you know, going over something here that's just, I think it's self-explanatory. This is pretty much the same paste. Maybe they have changed the chemical composition of it. Maybe they made it better. Obviously, if they can tolerate up to 200 Celsius, then yeah, sure. But yeah, that's just my opinion on the Noctua NT-H2 thermal paste. It's good. It performs. So I have nothing negative to say about it. Now, as far as if I see this and this at the shelves right next to each other, am I going to choose this one here over this one? If this one is costing a little more, no, I'll stick with this if I'm going to get the same or similar results, if it's at the right price. I'm not going over 110 Celsius, so I'm good. Yeah, this will work just fine for me. So yeah, that's all I have to say for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit thumbs up. If you didn't, for whatever reason, you know what to do. Hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Subscribe.